what should I say? Give me a question.
What are we doing right now?
Right now it's our first game of round 2, and in my opinion, I believe that we're gonna win because I have good players on my team.
Rosati is Lewiston's iteration of a grassroots sports program.
So basically our idea was, okay, we got the hook, which is the soccer. How can we create a program where the students have to live up to certain standards and expectations, and how are we gonna get to that point?
So a Rosati session has a few different parts. The first part of a Rosati session is what we call street soccer. After that, everybody comes together for a minute or so, maybe 2 minutes of a mindful breathing exercise. After mindful breathing, we do a whole group meeting. During this whole group meeting, one of the elementary school participants usually gives an example of something from their life when, if the theme of the week is be positive, when it was important to be positive, or when I saw somebody being positive, or when I struggled to be positive.
If you can tap into a kid's passion for whatever it is, now you got them. And with a motivated young person, you can do anything with them.
Hey, we need 6 captains. 6 captains, please.
When I first came to America, I didn't really know how to communicate with others. So when I first came here, I couldn't play without communicating. So I had to force myself to speak and learn English faster.
I barely knew English when I came to this country. And then I played soccer and I heard about Rosati. And then it actually helps me with my English skills because you, of course, have to talk through soccer. I come to Rosati because I want to have a growth of soccer, of course, and this program is not just about Rosati. It's about positivity, a lot of leadership, letting stuff go.
We play indoors all year, so you do not need shoes. You don't need to pay for referee fees. You don't need to pay for uniforms. You don't need to pay for field fees or anything. So it's absolutely free to every participant. We've had over 1,000 participants and over 1,000 training sessions over the last 7+ years, and we've never charged a penny to a kid. And it's the same time, same place every day, because it was very clear that not all of our kids have cell phones and not all of our kids have parents that have free time and a vehicle to be able to drive them around to stuff. So our thing was, how can we get rid of all barriers to a young man or a young woman in Lewiston? I think Lewiston mirrors America in a lot of ways, which is the hopes and dreams are beautiful on paper, but it's not perfect on the ground. And we're trying to get better at that, and we'll never stop doing that. The Hearts of Pine coming to Maine has absolutely brought this dream, this faraway sort of thing to think about, maybe in your dreams, to right on their doorstep. This is a town that needs hope, and that needs desire, and that needs dreams, and that needs ways to get there. The amount of support that the Hearts have given our program and the other programs in Lewiston is absolutely amazing.
You know what I'm saying? Ha 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 ha. Hands held high, raise them up to the sky. Never let them low, only thought you should know. Hands held high, raise them up to the sky. Never let them low, go.
So we're here at Mike McGraw Park, and Mike McGraw Park was named after the legendary high school coach here in Lewiston, Mike McGraw, who retired after 37 years as head coach of the Blue Devils. Long enough that he coached me. He retired, Dan Gish took over, but the community of soccer in Lewiston has always stayed close. He's got former players who are coaching in colleges and around the country. There is a Mike McGraw tree that has grown and blossomed in the world of soccer. You were my first coach, my JV coach.
Yeah.
We won't say how many years ago, but it was a long time ago.
A long time ago,
Long time ago.
Yeah.
And back then, those of us who played soccer were sort of the outliers, right? It was a football town.
is
You played
football.
football, you played hockey.
Football and hockey.
You were literally taking a bunch of guys who knew nothing about soccer, and you were teaching. It was soccer 101.
The early days was, Lewiston was noted for being first on the ball. We played really hard. And my philosophy was, if they don't have the ball, then they can't score. I think out of the 37 years I was a varsity coach, we didn't make the playoffs one year.
Out of 37.
Yeah.
But you had plenty of good teams, as you said, playoff teams every year. But it went to another level when people started moving to Lewiston from all over Africa.
We got some of the kids from Somalia mostly. When we started getting a good number of them, we started to become pretty good. And the biggest thing was having the white kids and the black kids communicate with each other, but trust. And once they started trusting each other, it was scary how good they were.
Now you got Hearts of Pine coming in. And all of a sudden, to a kid playing for Dan Gish at Lewiston High School, there is a realistic goal.
Yes.
Maybe playing for this team. What will that mean to these players?
They look at it as either they're going to go to a 2 or 4 year college and they want to play, or they will play for a local club team. And now the club teams are getting a lot better, a lot more mature, and very serious. And now that Hearts of Pine are here, that has opened up their eyes, opened them up emotionally. I mean, it's one of those things where you either got to be you got to be a little lucky, and you got to be good, and you got to have skills, but you've got to have the heart. And that to me that's why the name is awesome. Okay, you've got to have the heart to play the game. You got to want it more, and I think some of our kids are like that.
The Hearts coming to Maine has created more dreamers, kids that know that it is possible that they can get to that level. I mean, it doesn't matter what culture you are or where you're from. Everybody dreams of being a professional player at some point in their lives, I'm sure. And now it's here. It's in our backyard. Soccer is crazy in Lewiston and in Portland anyways. And this has just set the bar even higher. And it's exciting.
We're standing on Lewiston High School's home pitch, and these kids are incredible. They just came off a state championship that injected so much positivity and good emotion into this community. There is a lot of talent, untapped talent, I imagine, here in Maine, and now they don't need to leave Maine to showcase that talent. Can you imagine going and trying out for a real professional team? That's amazing. That's what dreams are made of.
Maine's first professional soccer team is slowly piecing together. Today, dozens met in Falmouth to show off their skills in hopes to make the Portland Hearts of Pine. About 100 people were in attendance, practicing in 3 different groups on the field. Today's first round of tryouts were only open to Maine residents. The team's founder says the idea comes from wanting to keep the heart of the team local.
This is a club for Maine, by Maine, and it's important that Maine players are represented on the club. So I think there's a real commitment to find 1 or 2 or more players from Maine that can represent Hearts of Pine. We want to create that opportunity and have all the young soccer players in Maine feel like one day, if they keep working hard and they keep progressing, they can maybe play professionally here in the state of Maine.
Having a Maine-only tryout is such a great idea because it instantly connects you to the community. right? First and foremost. Let's find out who can play here. And is there anybody who can play at this level?
My name is Khalid Hersi. I was born in Atlanta. I came to Lewiston, Maine when I was 2 years old. So obviously I've been here. I grew up here my whole life. When I was warming up, I kind of felt like the little nerves, but then I was just mental talk, just telling myself, you know, I've been through hours of training, hours of just putting in the work. So there's no reason to be nervous when you've already put all the hours in. You just got to showcase it now. So.
You know, I'd heard a little bit about Khalid. It was funny. I was sitting down, the games had just started Saturday morning, and I was sitting with Utah, my goalkeeper coach, and saw him out of the corner of my eye and said, "This is interesting." It's been really exciting to see all the players from all over the place and their commitment and their excitement about this project. So yeah, been really thrilled. I mean, we've got probably seven players signed now. We're still casting a big net. You know, I spoke with a kid in Poland 2 days ago. I've got an interview with a kid from Finland tomorrow. So we'll just have to see how it all plays out. What's up? How you guys doing? Everybody all right? How are we? Apologies for being late. Hi, Bobby Murphy. Very nice to meet you. Yeah, no, he's a great kid. You know, he's got some really good soccer instincts. You know, he's got some real technical ability. I think it's hard for someone who's never played at this level to have to be good every day. But the family was lovely. They were so hospitable. It was an amazing night. So we just wanted to welcome Khalid to the family, congratulate him on his contract, and have you guys all here present him with this. This won't be his jersey, but it'll be one just like it. But this is his to have till now. So we're all so excited. One, that you've done this. Two, you're the first kid from Maine to be signed. But I want to reiterate, it's not because you're from Maine you were signed. It's because you're good enough that you were signed. For anyone to think this is a PR stunt, just needs to come watch him play for a few minutes, and we'll know that this is not a feel-good story. It just happens to be a feel-good story.
When I found out Khalid had made the team, I couldn't wait to share the news. You know, we're a Lewiston family. My son knows him a little bit, had played with his brothers, and he was so excited. The community was so excited. It's a great soccer family. And so for Khalid to be the first Mainer to sign a deal with Hearts is absolutely perfect. Like, you couldn't have scripted it any better. So excited for him and so excited for the people of Lewiston.
I think for me, it might have been a little different than a lot of people just because I've never been in a professional environment. So I'll say the first day was kind of like a wow for me. Just the intensity was a lot. You're just hearing a bunch of people, like I was like, yo, why is everybody screaming? You hear a lot of, I'm not the most vocal person too, so I'm like, a lot of people are screaming. There's a lot of like intensity, like, so it took time for me obviously to adjust in, but I'm still low-key, I'm working on like a lot of like, just like a lot of things within soccer.
So listen, right? And I think this is important, right? The yellows did enough, right, to cause that, right? You force them to play faster than they want to. That's a turnover. That's a win for us. It's not like you have to win it every time up here. It's not going to happen, right? But by staying in it, not letting them just relax, now we get the ball again, right?
Day by day, we're just trying to get to know each other. Right now, it's definitely not perfect on the field, nor do we expect it to be. So the goal for us is just to get tighter as a group, and as long as we get tighter as a group, I think it will show on the pitch.
Everyone's stepping into a new environment. It's a lot of guys' fresh starts, but it's been really fun. We're really just trying to find ourselves and build that brotherhood, kind of create our own environment, our own community, our own culture, and that's been really exciting these last few days.
Back to a goal kick.
We're a really young team, right? We have a couple of veterans, older groups, right? But we have mainly really college grads players. The way Bobby wants to play, I think it needs a lot of energy. Having those young players help us, obviously, to teach them, develop them to become who they can be.
I think the U.S. Open Cup, we have to respect the competition. It's the oldest of its kind in the world. It's the soccer equivalent, the professional soccer equivalent of March Madness, where you've got teams from every level, whether it's, the big, MLS clubs and us and amateur clubs all on any given day can go and win and advance and move on. So, it's one that's a competition that I take seriously. I think having it in Lewiston is fantastic. It's not lost on me, and I hope, the larger community, that this just isn't Portland's team, it's Maine's team. And so when we have the opportunity to sort of share the team with the other communities around, I think we have a responsibility when we can to meet people where they're at. Listen, it's gonna be a good crowd, it's gonna be cold, it's gonna be fun. Why not? Let's do it.
I think we have a team that is capable to make it far in the Open Cup. It's a tournament about moments. If you are able to score your moments, better. Once you score against a higher division team, then they start panicking, and then you can start kind of putting them on the back foot. The first round, when you're playing a lower league team, is more difficult than playing a higher league team because you're playing with house money.
Happening today is the first ever home game for Portland's new professional soccer team. The Portland Hearts of Pine is playing in the U.S. Open Cup tournament against a team from Cambridge, Massachusetts. You can watch all the action at Lewiston High School starting at 6:30 tonight.
So it's a big day, isn't it? Yeah, this is the first match. We've been working with Gabe for 6 years on making this club a reality. And so it's incredibly gratifying to get to this point. We're excited, we're nervous, lots of emotions.
It's cold. You think it's cold? I'm too pumped up to think it's cold. I think all these people behind me are just too jazzed to even feel the weather. Yeah, no, we're ready. We've been ready for this. Could it be below zero? We'd be out here doing this thing.
It's not just the Open Cup, it's the first game. This is history. This is momentous. So that's why it's exciting. So thrilled to be here.
We often say, can you do it on a cold, windy night in Stoke in English football? And it's a cold, windy night in Lewiston, this is where they got to prove it. They can do it. So, they'll get some fun games in 80-degree weather later on. But hey, this is going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of energy, and I'm just, excited.
In many ways, I think this is even more special, that this is our first home match, and it's at Lewiston, and it's an Open Cup match. The Cup is grassroots American soccer at its core. We're playing an amateur team, and I think there's some parallels between what this club is and how we're trying to build it, and that sort of overlaps with that ethos that the Cup embodies. It's also interesting, right? The first ever time for a first ever team that's never played a game before, and it's against an amateur team in the Cup. That's there's some challenges that come along with that, but I think we're going to be excited and ready to run. So.
Yeah, whether the first 10. Whether the first 10. This is 5 years in the making. Tonight is 5 years in the making. 90% of all available tickets to see you play at home this year are sold. That's not to mention the hours that this office staff, that the front office has put into making this night possible. There's too much gone into this for you to let somebody else down. Don't let yourselves down, and don't let all those people out there and everybody who works with you down tonight. Yeah? We are on top of them. We are in their faces. We make it life miserable. And when we get a chance, I guarantee you, one of you's gonna get a chance in the first 10 minutes, you bury it. And then we go get the next one, and then we go get the third. Yeah? Any questions? Any doubts?
No. Let's do it.
We ready to go? Come on, boys. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
And we'll find out just exactly what this Hearts of Pine group is going to look like. The same goes for their opponents, City Felons, as we invite you to turn off the world and turn on the game. We officially have professional soccer in the great state of Maine. And Ollie Wright with the same exact backfield for Messer once more. It's deja vu all over again. This one gets all the way across, loose in front. Here's Vanea! There you have it! First ever goal for Hearts of Pine, and it's Walter Vanea!
Here we go. Here we go. That's one.
This is a long-range effort. It's spectacular. It's another for Hearts, and it's their left back Nathan Messer. Golazo!
Such a big night for Maine soccer. Like, I think probably the most historic night in Maine soccer history. First professional club game. The club's been killing it off the field since they announced their brand, since they released the kits. And so the big question for everybody was, how will they actually perform on the soccer field? And it's some really good soccer and a really good result.
Firsts are hard to come by in this world, you know what I mean? And to get to be first and to be able to be a part of something that means something to so many people is so humbling to me and to the players. It is not lost on them what we saw tonight in terms of a turnout on a Wednesday night. I hope it's just the start. I think we have a continuing, as a club and as a staff and as players, have a continuing responsibility to build on what we saw tonight. It's already something really, really special. I mean, I'm on the, it's humbling.
Coming up next on Up the Hearts.
First of all, this is huge. The outcome of the people, of your supporters coming and showing up to Naples, Florida is beautiful.
We've got Hartford in town, and if we beat them, then we advance, then we get to go on to round 3 in the cup.
Up the Hearts is made possible thanks to these sponsors.
Intersilgan Bank is excited to be the presenting sponsor of Portland Hearts of Pine U.S. Open Cup Journey.
We gave out 200 free tickets tonight to the community through our local branches. We really wanted everyone to be here to be able to enjoy this incredible moment.
We really, really believe in what they are building for the community. Something new, something fun, something exciting, and it's really great to see.
Soccer has the ability to bring people together, and we're excited to be a small part of it.
Businesses, don't miss your chance to show you've got heart. Take this unique opportunity to sponsor the series that supports the team. Contact us to advertise with Up the Hearts.